everybody, my name is Naomi. So today we're going to be talking about equal opportunity employment. So in business, one of the most important aspects is equality. In our world, we're all fighting for equity, and equity is a problem that's been debated on all times. But in business, do you know that there's actually a policy that requires every business, every employers to be equal against employees or hiring applicants? There it is, which is equity, which is equal opportunity employment rights. So what rights do this gives applicants, and what rules does it give to employers or to hiring managers? So let's talk through this progress. In the business workforce, the progress of equity and everything is a very serious problem, right? Because again, not all the times will it be equally protected in this workplace, but rules have changed, words have changed, and here this is the rule called equal opportunity employment. This rule says that business and employers must remain first fair, and secondly, they cannot discriminate, which means favoring one to one or favoring one aspect to another aspect when they hire employees, or when they consider about like the working aspects of their employees. So let's say they cannot like judge this applicant higher than this applicant just because of their race or just because of something. Instead, employers and business must judge them fairly on just their interviews, on just their cover letters, or on their like jobs interviews, on their experiences, etc. So that means there could be no firing, no work trafficking based on the reasons that are considered as discriminating. Now, what actions are considered as discriminating, and what aspects can employers not use to judge an applicant or judge a worker? First is their race, which is a very big problem. In our world, racism is a very big problem. No one really wants to deal with racism because again, what can a white people do that a black people can't do, right? What can white people do that an Asian people can't do? Or what can't an Asian people do that a white people can't do, etc, etc. In our world, we have different race, but different race here doesn't mean we have different abilities, right? So first, race is the biggest problem here. They should not judge people more because just of their race, or judge people less just by their race. Secondly is their nationality. So maybe like I'm going for a company that's rooted in China, that's built in China, and my opponent is a Chinese person, I'm a Vietnamese person. So if the employer favors the Chinese person, they're violating the equal opportunity employment rules, because we cannot judge the people based on their nationality or on the place where they are currently born at. So that is why nationality is a very important thing, partly because of age. You cannot judge a people because they're too old or because they are too young. So let's say if I'm a 19-year-old just to the work market, and I cannot compete against a 25 years old when I have the same experience or when I have the same study choices. So that is again violating the rules of equal opportunity employment. Or for example, me as a 25 worker, and I would be more favored than a 52 years old senior, because I am considered as more creative and more flexibility. No, that is violating the rules of it. So you cannot judge some people based on their age. But fourthly is about their religion. So you can, as a Christian, we all know that, for example, as a Christian, you probably would respect people that are in your same religion. But because of that, you cannot judge somebody that doesn't have a religion or have a Buddhism religion, etc. Right? So that comes to the aspect of religion. Because again, these all does not affect whether or not can a person does this, whether or not can a person achieve that much of achievements, right? But now, also comes to the point of these two things. First is disability. If a person has, let's say like ADHD, but they can still do work just as well as other people, that doesn't mean that they have less opportunity, right? Or for example, if a person has like problems with their their legs, maybe their legs sore, maybe their leg hurts, that doesn't mean that they cannot do computer works. So you cannot judge somebody based on their disability. But most importantly is pregnancy. And this applies to not just employees that are in the progress of hiring, but also employees that are on the progress of working. You cannot just kick somebody out. You cannot just fire somebody because they are on the pregnancy, because they're 6 month pregnancy. Instead, pregnancy workers, they can have the right to buy insurance to protect themselves, because there comes a lot of insurance such as like disability insurances, right? And also that is the jobs of the business to be able to protect pregnancy workers and being able to be open arms to employees that are post-pregnancy or in their pregnancy. Because again, pregnant woman is what we should cherish, right? So that is the rules of equal opportunity employment. And if you ever see a business that violating these rules, feel free to maybe go on like a lawsuit or to confront them. Because again, equal opportunity employment is a rule that's pretty much open to all business these days. And that it is basic morality to command these rules, right? So thank you for listening and goodbye.